Testing 1, 2, 3. Just a few of us here so far, but here's your chance to know if the audio is working. Awesome. Thanks, Rhonda.
Perfect. Yeah.
Hey, Troy.
Hi, Kathy. How are you today?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Getting ready for Easter?
I guess. Yeah, we're heading out to visit family right after the class is over, so
Oh, nice.
that'll be
Okay.
nice. Mel's busy making some Easter eggs for the grandkids.
Nice.
She makes smash Easter eggs, ones.
Smash Easter eggs?
Yeah, it's like an Easter egg piñata. She stuffs it with candy, and there's a hammer, and yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a fun project.
Yep.
Wow. Well, nothing special for Easter here. I'll be painting, so getting ready for our acrylics class. I have Tuesday, Thursday ready, so I'll send those to you after class. And for those that are on a little bit early for Tuesday, Thursday, I'll send those on Saturday with the instructions. But the pictures are ready. So I think we've done this one before, but we'll do a little bit different variation. So we'll do this pelican. And we'll do an orchard. So that's Tuesday, Thursday. So we're a little bit early. So if anybody wants to tell me when to stop on these cards, I think today we'll do some reflection. So if someone wants to say stop.
Stop.
Both two at the same spot. Okay. This is about being patient with yourself. Always a fun topic. We are going to paint the background, but we're not going to use a blow dryer to dry it. We'll do it at the end in just a light blue.
I have a question about the colors. You said a Silurian turquoise blue.
In the background?
Cerulean.
Oh, cerulean. Cerulean is blue. Yeah.
Just a regular cerulean, or I thought you had something else behind. Okay, thanks.
Just regular. It's just really watered down.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Ace or Ice, you say hi to me. Well, hello. I'm glad that you're here with
It's
us.
Aisha speaking. Kathy, it's Aisha.
Aisha, well, welcome. Thanks for joining. I just dropped a brush, so I'll be right back. This is a normal thing, dropping brushes.
Oh, God.
This is why I have several on hand, because sometimes I drop one. There we are. And so for this one, you'll also want to have a Sharpie pen or some kind of black liner. If you have a watercolor pencil, a sharp watercolor pencil, that will work. This is just a Sharpie. And again, we're not going to use a blow dryer in this picture. We are going to paint the background, but not use a blow dryer. We're a little bit early. We've already got our card chosen for halftime. And does anyone out there have any special plans besides Troy with his egg smashing? No, some people are shaking their heads no. No, I'll be here.
I'm going to my daughter. She lives around the corner from me.
Nice. So she can cook?
Yeah, I'm making a chocolate cake for dessert.
Chocolate cake.
Yeah,
Nice.
And Ellie,
it's a good one.
celebrating Passover. I wish them a happy Passover. I've been doing all of
Yeah.
my preparation and cooking, so it's nice to take a break and be here with you.
Right.
There's a lot of cooking to do for Passover.
Yeah, because we don't eat anything with leavening, so I change my dishes and everything. So everything is made with lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, and just interesting stuff that I normally don't make during the year. But it's fun. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Who's talking?
Brenda.
Yeah.
Brenda, I need a recipe for a matzah kugel. An
Okay.
easy, delicious.
Send me your okay, send me your email through chat and I will send it to you. I'll send you a few.
Well, thank you so much. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm
How's
hanging
Florida?
in. I had like a couple of I got a sprained ankle, a tennis elbow, a UTI. Otherwise, I'm fabulous.
Oh my goodness. That's like an accident looking for a place to happen, Beth. I'm glad you're on. You've got a
It
couple
could
of
be
things
worse. Let's
on
just
the end.
say it could be worse. So
Oh.
I'm glad that's all I got.
Well, I'm glad you're with us.
So if you didn't see me, that's where I've been dealing with.
Surprising that you're
and
on to
jury
deal with
duty.
all of that. You're a trooper.
I have jury duty as well.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, wow.
But now I have an hour with Kathy. I'm thrilled.
Nice, thank you. We're honored to have you with us. And how are we for time? Let me just do a time check here. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting a different view here, so let's try there. Nope. Not giving me the time.
12:58, 2 minutes.
58, well, we have 2 more minutes to talk about Easter plans and recovery from war wounds and things. So you'll need for this just 2 containers of water. I like to keep one clear and one for rinsing brushes. You'll want some paper towel on hand. I cut up 1 sheet into 3. So it's just the little ones and I just cut it into 3. Brushes, I just have a 01 or 023 and my angle brush, which I always have on hand, a 6 because we are going to do the background, so it's a little bit more area to cover, and some kind of a liner. if you have a watercolor pencil in black or something dark, we're going to outline our vase or vase, however you say that, and we're going to put a center line down the middle of our stems and use this highlighter also, or liner, to also outline our flowers. The biggest, hi Rebecca, the biggest trick I'm going to let you know in advance with this picture is to try to keep your vase neck narrow. So that's part of what makes this so delicate, is just a very narrow stem or opening on the vase. So I know from experience that it will get bigger and bigger and bigger if I don't get a straight line going down. So this is really, it's a little bit more fine work today, but we can do it. We will do it together. You've done some beautiful work in the past, so I'm quite confident you'll be able to do this. A little bit of mixing too. We've got some red and some ochre to make a pretty orange for these flowers, or orangey pink. So it's entirely up to you. If you want your flowers to be a different color, then by all means, please be my guest. Do that. If you want your vase to be, or vase, however you say that, to be a different color, then go ahead. I'm going to say vase from here on, and then I don't have to keep saying it twice. And Mexico, we have Mexico on. Hi, Teresa. Welcome. And we have Chag on, so welcome, Chag. So anybody that's new, welcome. I'm glad that you've joined us. It will start out. We also have Team Sprinkles. Always nice to have them on. Hello, hello. Glad to have you. And so we'll get started with this flower vase. But before we do that, anybody that hasn't received the picture, it's the sketch is in the chat. So the sketch is there. So if you're able to quickly sketch that or just follow along, that's entirely up to you. But this is a step-by-step watercolor class, not meant for perfection, just for us to be together, like-minded artists, trying new things, discovering what our talents are, where our talents lie, what we like to do better. Some might like animals better, some might like nature, some might like trees and flowers, whatever it is. Hopefully during the time of all the different options that I give you, you'll find something that you really like. So maybe you'll move into that. We also have an artist in the UK that has put some of her artwork from this class, her lion especially, she's put it on display in an art show. So congratulations for that. So we never know where we're going to, I don't ever know where you're going to take your art. So let this be your art and move along at your own pace. So if I'm going too quickly during the class, please let me know and I'll slow down. But at this point, we'll just take a moment. If there's anything troubling you, anything in your immediate mind, if you are able to, just take that for this 1 hour of time and set it in the parking lot. And we'll get into art mode and just take 3 deep breaths. So we'll take 1 deep breath and hold it for a moment and then release. And as you release, we'll just drop those shoulders down. We hold a lot of tension here. So, and I may remind you throughout the class just to take a deep breath, just to get your mind back to right now, right here. So with that, we'll take a deep breath in and hold it at the top and release it. Just breathe out, drop those shoulders. Another deep breath in and hold it. Give yourself a smile and release. And a third deep breath in and hold it and release. And again, give those shoulders, that neck, just a bit of a massage or a shake. And we're ready to go. So we're going to work with some color. We are going to do the background, but we're going to paint the background last. So It's not something that is done all the time, but I think for this picture, sometimes it just highlights and gives almost a halo effect for the flowers. So we'll do that. You'll want to have some paper towel on hand, a highlighter, a black watercolor pencil, whatever you've got that will make a very fine line. Your brushes, I've got anywhere from a 0, including one angle brush. I've got 0 to a 6 in there. 2 containers of water. We're just giving a moment for anybody else that's coming in, just so that, oops, so that they're not going to miss instructions. And with that, we'll get started. So I'm just moving my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. You'll be able to hear me. Again, if I'm moving too quickly through, just let me know and I can slow down or back up a little bit. So this is our art picture already drawn. We do have a card that we will read at halftime. It's just a meditation card. It's about reflecting, a reflection. So with that, we'll get started with, we'll paint the vase first. So the vase is purple. I'm using diazonone violet. And I know when I put my watercolor on, it's going to dry 20 to 30% lighter from when I put it on. So I may need to repeat this, just redo it. So I'm just starting with my vase with my purple. And the trick to this is to try and stay within those lines so that your vase doesn't get wider and wider. Well, I'm working on an easel. If you're working on an easel, your paint will tend to run down. So just try to keep the neck of that vase narrow. And then when you come down around the bottom, we'll just fill that area in. So around the bottom of the vase, there's a shadow, which we'll do later. But right now, we're just doing the actual vase itself. So sometimes people pick up different likes and things that they really enjoy or things that they're really good at. As I said, sometimes it's scenery, sometimes it's animals, sometimes it's fruit. It could be people, could be portraits, could be sketching. And so these classes just help you discover through doing different things what you like the best. So I know that this is diazonone purple, and I know it's going to dry fairly light. I'll be doing it more than once, but for this period of time, it's covered at least once. So please remember, as you're painting, this is just a piece of paper. If you're using a canvas, it's just a canvas. Sometimes a piece of paper just wants to be a piece of paper, so it may not end up what you would like it to be. But you'll be able to watch the video again if you need to and repeat the process. Now next I'm going to work on my flowers. There's only 3 of them there. And I'm just putting on a piece of paper some ochre and some brilliant red. So those 2 colors, when I mix those together, I'm going to get a peachy, pinky red. So that mixed together is, now I'm going to add a little bit more red because I'd like it to be a little more pink. When I add those 2 colors together, that's ochre and brilliant red, I'm getting a pink color. So again, that's brilliant red, more red, then ochre. So brilliant red with just a dot of ochre gives me a nice pink color. And I'm just going to paint the whole flower. And I'm just going around the lines that were drawn there. And again, I know that's going to dry lighter than when I put it on. So I will probably repeat that. I've got a second flower. And if your flower gets a little bit bigger, it's okay. The thing that you want to try and keep small is that vase. And they don't have to have completely even solid bottoms. They can have a little bit of wiggle room on the bottom, a little bit jagged. And I'll paint my third flower. You can see I'm just popping that color on. Not too worried about perfection. It's just a matter of getting that color on because our black line as we do it will really define that flower. So you can see my center flower is a little bit darker. There's some lights and darks in there. But I am going to paint them all one more time. Before I do that, I will let them dry a little bit because it will dry a little bit lighter. And if you've got some lines and some streaks in between where it's not completely the same color all through, that's okay. That's a flower. That's more natural. And from when I started and explained for those that have come on since then, we've just painted our vase, just wet on dry. We've just painted the vase in purple, not worried about it being too light or dark. We're going to do a second coating on that. And we've painted these flowers using brilliant red and a touch of ochre in it, just to give you that orangey pink color. That's where we're at this point. And I'm not particularly worried about the bottom of this vase being completely flat because I am going to do a shadow in purple below it and around, just coming down towards the corner after. So don't worry about the bottom looking like, oh, it just ends or sitting there in the middle of nowhere. We'll give it a shadow, so it will give it a bit of a base, a platform. Well, the next color I'm going to do the bottom underneath the vase. And I've got some little petals here that are laying on at the bottom. So those little petals, I want to leave those little petals. I want to paint, or not that, that's a little one that's over the top, but I want to go around those petals and just leave those white for the time being. So I'm going to use black, but not solid black. So if I put black on my paper and then I add water, I'm coming up with a softer gray. That's what we're looking for, is that softer gray. If you put it on and it's too light, you can always add a little touch of color. If you put it on and it's too dark, you can add more water. So I'm just going from that line at the side right across. Again, if it's too dark, I can add water while it's still wet. So I'm not wetting it first. This is wet on dry, and I'm not worrying about that line being completely straight either. If it's a little bit higher or lower, a little bit uneven, that's okay. And I'm just putting gray all the way across, right under that vase, right to the other side. So that gray base is going to help me when I put my purple shadow on. It will be a little bit darker in that spot as well. And if it's lighter and darker in different spots, that's okay as well. I always like to mix and match and make my own colors. I think it's kind of fun that way. That's what makes it unique. So if you're making a color and I'm making a color, our palettes may not be identical. So we could end up with a little bit of a variation, which again makes it unique. So I have sap green and I have ochre. When I mix sap green and ochre, it comes up to an olivey color. We've made this color lots of times. If you've been on board, we've made it lots of times. So I'm looking for an olivey color. So I've got some green and ochre mixed together. And if you've been coming on, you know that I like to mix colors and try different things. So now I've got an olivey color, and this olivey color I'm going to use for all of my stems. I'm doing that fine line all the way down with this olivey color. And you're just covering that line that you've drawn for your flower. Even the stems where the leaves are. We're painting those in this olivey color. And they're just coming to the opening of the vase. And again, if you want to add a deeper green or a different color, you wanted to put in a sienna color or something brown, that's entirely up to you. And I've added just an extra dot of green to my ochre color. So it's still or to my olive color. So it still has the same two colors on, but I'm making it just a little bit darker. So it's still olivey, but a little bit darker than the stem. And I'm just going to paint those leaves.
Kathy, how are you making it darker?
I just added a little dot of green. So it's the same olive color with just an extra dot of green in there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just painting those leaves that I have already drawn. And this is a leaf on the outside edge as well. So it's just a soft color. And because it's really fine work, this picture, if you need to rest your finger, I rest my baby finger on the picture, and that gives me a little bit more stability from a shaking hand. So you could try that. And I'm also going to do the little green coming down on the outside of the flower at the top. And because it is fine, detailed work, you might be holding your breath. So just take a deep breath. Just let that go. We have that red and ochre that we've mixed together, more red than ochre, so it's a pinky color, sort of a rose color, almost an orangey. And because the bottom of our picture should probably be dry by now, we can go ahead and we can paint in those petals that have fallen. And they're not all even shaped. Some of them have a little bit of a curve to them. Some of them are a little bit wiggly. So if you've got some white spaces in there as well, go ahead and fill that in with that pinky orange color. And if your flowers have dried lighter than you like, go ahead and let's do a whole nother coating of the same color. We're just going to fill them in again. If you miss a spot or leave a blank spot, or if it's uneven in different areas, that's okay. It doesn't have to be completely smooth in color. I'm just going to go back because I know those petals have dried. And I can add my second coating, which if we had just done one coating, we wouldn't get the same effect of a blended look on these flowers. And I think my little petals down below are probably dry or close to dry. So again, I'm going to add a little bit extra color on those as well.
Kathy, I was very busy on my little leaves. On the flowers, are we changing the color or we're just deepening the same color?
You just deepen the same color by using the same color over again. It just gives it an extra depth that if you'd have done it just once the first time, it would have dried lighter anyways.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, Kathy, on the screen, it looks like your leaves at the bottom on the table look the same color as your flowers, but is that what you did? You did I have green leaves at the bottom, but yours looks yellow and red like your flowers.
This is the same color. I just have gray underneath.
I think the
Different on the
petals, they're supposed to be
screen.
petals.
Petals, not flowers, not leaves. I mean,
Those are flowers on the bottom.
Those are petals that have fallen from the flowers. If that makes sense. That's just a petal that's fallen.
Oh, as leaves. Sorry about that.
Oh, you thought they were leaves. No, these are petals from the flowers. I'm going to paint this vase again. So I'm going back to my purple. I'm turning my picture sideways so that I can get right down that line that I've drawn. I'm painting the whole thing purple again. If it's not completely straight, it's a little bit of an abstract anyways, but the whole purpose of this is to try and keep the neck of that vase as narrow as possible. I'm just repainting it, just carefully going with along that line. And then again, painting the bottom. And I'm on an easel and the paint runs down, so I'm just working in upward strokes to keep that paint moving up. And if it's not completely perfect, if it's got some lighter and darker spots in it, that's okay. So it looks like we've hit the halfway mark. So let me read our card. Our card is reflection. So if you're able to get any of these cards, they're quite interesting to give you food for thought. So today's card says, be patient with yourself. Self-growth is tender. It's holy ground. There's no greater investment. That's a quote by Stephen Covey. For those that read Stephen Covey books, he has lots of novels out and books. Before bed, recite the following affirmation 5 times. I think I'd be asleep by the time I got to the 5th one, but I am a work in progress. Today I am stronger than yesterday, and tomorrow I will be stronger than today. So just to read that again, be patient with yourself. Self-growth is tender. It's holy ground. There's no greater investment. Before bed, recite the following affirmation 5 times. I am a work in progress. Today I am stronger than yesterday, and tomorrow I will be stronger than today. Well, that's a great exercise to do as well. My goodness. Okay, so let's do that shadow in purple underneath the flower. So we know that there's just a little bit of shadow on this side, and it kind of gets bigger as it goes down near the bottom. And we're going to take it right to the outside edge, but I'm going to leave just a little bit of gray at the top. And I'm going to leave a little bit of gray underneath my vase. So I've got a purple shadow happening right to the outside edge. A little bit of purple at the top here, not going over towards that petal. But I'm just filling that in. And it doesn't have to be completely filled in. If you have filled in every inch of it, use your brush, a dampened brush, and just pull a couple of lines of paint out so that it gives that look that it's a reflective shadow. It doesn't go all the way to the vase. There's a little bit of a gap in there. So it's just a shadow underneath that vase, and it comes off to the outside edge. And if it's too dark, just run a dampened brush and pull out a few lines. And then I'm going to use my fine point black pen, and I'm going to put a line around my petals. So I'm going to draw an outline for each petal. If some of the line leaves a bit of that pinky color on the outside, that's okay. They don't have to be straight. This petal kind of goes over top, and this petal is underneath. And then I'm going to work with my flower, doing an outline for my flower. And I'm doing a little V or triangle where the flower meets the stem.
Katya, is it black marker?
I'm using a Sharpie,
Yeah.
a black
I think I
Sharpie.
like my, I know my marker on like for data.
It's a fine point. And again, another triangle where the flower meets the stem. So I'm just outlining my flowers. And I'll do the same with my flower at the top. I'm outlining, just putting a little triangle at the bottom, coming up the side. And if I've got a little bit of white up there I haven't filled in, I'm not worried about that. And I can do the little stem, little petal stems that come off the bottom of my flower. Just outline those in black. I'm going to carry on and do the same with my leaves. So I'm just doing the outside for starters. I'll put a little bit of detail in the leaves later, but I just want the outline of the leaves first. And then I can do that stem right along that painted line that I put on there already. So it's in the center of your painted line. So for that center flower, I've come straight down. I've got a little leaf over the side. And I can follow that stem down to the vase. And I have more leaves over on the side. And I'm following that painted line with the stem all the way back up to the vase. So remember, take a deep breath, drop those shoulders, give your shoulders just a little, your neck a little stretch just to relieve. And I'll follow that line for the bigger flower all the way down to the flower. And my last little flower as well.
Kathy, did you do it through the vase? Because in your image that you sent us, the stem goes down the vase too. Are you going to do that too?
Yes. Yes. So we'll do the neck of the vase. You're going to test me here. Let's see here. So steady hand straight down all the way along that line, right down to the bottom of the vase on both sides. And then down to the bottom of the vase, but not underneath the vase. So we're only having, it's just going to run off the edge where the vase is. So it's just running off the edge. It just doesn't meet up with anything along the bottom.
Kathy, excuse me, I may have missed it. Did you put a black line where each of the stems were?
Yes, I have a line along the stems. Yes, I have a line along all of those right over top what I painted in that lime or olivey green color.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Then we can give these leaves a little bit extra life. So I'm just starting to add in some markings in the leaves. So some leaves can be wider, some can be thinner. It's up to you. Some can have a lot on one side and less on the other. But on the leaf, I'm just following from stem to tip and then adding in a couple of the little veins inside the leaf.
Kathy Kasim has their hand up. Maybe they have a question.
Yes. You can open your mic and go ahead and ask a question.
Maybe they just hit it by accident.
Okay. It's Team Sprinkles had to leave, so they're gone a little bit early. Now I just have a few little white spots in where my flowers are, where I've drawn the line and it didn't quite cover. So I'm just touching that up at this point. And that's up to you. If you have spots or not you want to cover, go ahead. It looked like that was frozen for a minute. Sorry about that. That just happens. Now with just clear water and my brush, I'm using my number 6 brush. It's a fair size. And just clear water. I'm going to put water on the outside of my picture all around my flower. Now I'm not touching on my flower, but if I do, if it happens to hit something, I'm not worried about it because that blend of color actually ends up quite beautiful. So I'm just going around with clear water around the outside of flower, outside of leaves, in between those little areas, in between the stems. I'm just lightly putting on just a light coating of water. I'm just priming my canvas for this next color, which is cerulean blue. So even up there between where the petals are, all the way down the side of that vase, right down to the bottom. Even in between, if I want to, in between those little flower petals. Just take your time and just pop some clear water on there and just move that around. And then I'm going to take cerulean blue and thin it out quite a bit. I'm not looking for a deep blue on my picture, but I'm looking for a light sky color. Just very faint sky color. And I'm just putting that all around my flower.
Excuse me, Kathy,
Yes.
are you wetting the whole background before you start with that color?
Yes, I've wet the whole background.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm going to get some lights because I'm going back and forth into my cerulean to pick up new color. And I might have a little bit more water on one spot than the other. So I'm going to get some lights and some darks in my picture. So I've got some spots that have a little bit of light, almost looks like a white. It's almost like the color didn't adhere. And then I've got some darker spots. I'm just wanting to highlight my flowers sitting there. And if you get a spot that's darker than you want it to be, if you add water and gently move some of that paint, you'll see that it will have no choice but to move. And this is just cerulean blue, just a light coating, just leaving white here and there. And if I touch on my flower, pick up a bit of that pink, and that starts to bleed or run a little bit in my picture, that's okay. So if you do this again, you decide to what you want to try to do it differently, you can do the background first. But I do find this gives a nice mottled look. It just adds a little bit of mystery to your picture. This gives a little bit more whimsy, maybe. So I'm just using the side of my brush, just a really light touch. More letting the water do the work. And if I want to give a really soft look at a specific area, I can dampen a piece of paper towel and just really soften one area just by moving or lifting some of that paint. So you can almost make a cloud effect in some places.
Kathy, I have a question to ask you. You said if we wanted to do it with the background first, would we have to mask out the flowers and the leaves then?
No, you would just not paint that area.
I see.
I've lost my connection, I think.
I hear you, I just don't see you.
I know. I think I've moved away from my.
Your connection was there, but so you're just on the wrong screen on your phone.
I know. Bear with me a second here. There we go. There, I'm back. There. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, no, if you wanted to go ahead and do your background first, you just avoid those areas, or you could paint right over them and then paint the color in on top.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So I find the trick to this one was to keep my vase neck, my vase neck very narrow. It's easy to get bigger and bigger and bigger because you've just gone outside of the lines and it just keeps growing and growing. So it is a very delicate picture. So hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll see if anybody's ready to put your pictures up. But before we do that, we are going to do a pelican next week. This is one of our watercolor pictures that we'll do. And we're going to also do an orchard. So those are next week's pictures. I will send through instructions and sketches for those on Saturday. I know some of you will be busy with Easter or Passover plans. And I'll also send through the acrylics, which will give an invitation if you decide you want to go to the acrylics class. But it looks like we've got some beautiful, delicate pictures up. So let's see our floral display. Nice. Lovely. Your colors are beautiful. Everyone went with purple. Did everyone go with purple? Nice. Oh, we've got blue. Beautiful. Thanks, Eva. Nice. Nicely done. All right, we're almost ready. Let's see. We're just, oh, and we've got a black and white. Beautiful. Nice, Amanda. So let's see if we're ready with pictures. Just waiting for a couple more. Nancy's got some nice shading on yours. Beautiful.
I like mine, Kathy. I really like this one. It turned out okay. Thanks a lot.
Oh,
It is
good.
delicate. I
Good.
really, really like it.
It's funny sometimes, isn't it? It's like, is this going to work or isn't it? Well, let's see. Is Troy ready for us? And
Yeah,
is
he's
everyone ready?
trying to get a full screen here. Beth, are you going to share?
Alessandra's
Or
up.
just Beth is
And
shaking her head, so there.
Beth's coming. Oh, beautiful. Very nice. All right, that looks
All right. Full screen. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I got it. Thanks.
Nicely done. We can breathe again. Very good. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Another different project. As I said, this one's a little bit more delicate.
Very pretty.
Oh, it's
Thank
perfect
you
for the
very
holidays. Kathy, it's really
Oh,
beautiful, very delicate, great for the holidays. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey,
So
Kathy.
this one you
Thank you
need
very
to
much,
call,
Kathy.
this one you need to call a mixed media because it doesn't have all water unless you used a watercolor pencil. But it's called mixed media because we've added something new besides watercolor. So if you used a marker or a pen, then that changes the name. So if you're going to put it in on display, you just need to declare that. Otherwise, it's still beautiful.
It really added to it, Kathy. The ink, the pen and ink really, I think, added to the whole thing. I like it very much. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you like that. Good.
Thank you very much.
I love doing flowers.
Yes, maybe
Thank
that's your
you.
specialty, right?
That was me.
Fun. Thank you.
Happy
Thank you,
holidays,
Kathy.
Carrot people too.
people are coming on. They're saying happy Easter. So happy Easter to everyone. Have a lovely
Happy
weekend.
Happy
Long weekend for some people.
Easter to you.
Thank you.
Happy
Pascapis from North Wales.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kathy, for everything.
Thank you,
Kathy. It was
Bye-bye.
wonderful.
I'm glad you like it.
Great class, Kathy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so we'll see you all Tuesday. So have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Troy.
Oh, you're welcome, Beth.
Yes,
Good to
yes,
see you
always.
today.
Thank you, Troy. Yes.
Kathy, we may have to consider the amount of light that's coming through and hitting that page because it was throwing the white balance off entirely and things looked a little kind of grainy. So I don't know if you can have more light elsewhere so that the white balance is good between front and back. It just was really washing out the canvas.
Okay.
So,
Let me try with a lamp. We'll start off on Tuesday with a light and see if that works.
well, I think more light behind like it looks really dark in the rest of your room. And so if there can be more light behind the painting, that would make the camera, your camera on the phone is trying to adjust for the brightness that's sort of focused right on the white piece of paper, and with no white light behind it, it's sort of, making it look like a spotlight, which is too
Oh,
bright.
okay. All right, okay.
So we need to have a balance of light across the whole room, not specifically on or only on the artwork. So
Right. Well, when I turned the lights off, it was too dark in here, so I have another lamp, a pole lamp that I'll bring in and we'll try it again on Tuesday. It's
Okay.
upstairs, so for me to go get it now would be.
I know the
light up.
iPhone works really great in low light environments. So I don't know do you have blinds that you can close so there's less light coming in?
They're totally closed.
Oh, okay.
They're totally closed. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe.
I think it's this
Oh,
light.
it's that light. Yeah.
That light. See,
Yeah.
that's what I have for lighting.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll bring the lamp in and put it behind me or behind the picture and we'll see what happens on Tuesday.
Yeah, if there's a way to just light up the more behind, then that will help balance the light altogether. That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Right,
Thank
Troy.
you.
Yeah.
You're going to stop recording. And I'm
No, I
You're not?
haven't. I will catch up this weekend, being a long weekend.
Okay.
I did release 3 of them on Tuesday. There'll be more coming.
No, I meant, are you going to stop recording? I'm going to start my video because I don't really want
Oh,
to
this is
record.
Abby.